Hello students, welcome to CambExcel Biology. Today we will learn about osmosis. Let's have a look at today's content. We will start our lecture by the introduction of osmosis, where we will be explaining what osmosis is and why it is important for the biological systems. Next, we will understand the term water potential, and we will be understanding the concept of water potential and how it drives the movement of water. Next, we will see that how osmosis occurs, and we will be describing the process of water movement across a selectively permeable membrane. And at last, we will see that how these ideas apply to the cells, and we will be explaining the effects of osmosis on cells in different environments. Let's start our lecture by the introduction of osmosis. Dear students, let's dive into the word of osmosis. Have you ever thought that how these plants they absorb water from the soil? In order to understand, let's have a look into the more details of this plant root system. Imagine a plant root hair cells which are surrounded by the soil particles and the water molecules present around them. Amazingly, the plants do not have any mechanical pumps or motors to absorb water. So how it happens? How the plants absorb the water? The answer is osmosis. Osmosis does all the work silently and efficiently, and it allows the plants to transport water from roots to the leaves, defying the gravity. So, in order to define the osmosis, we can say that osmosis is the net movement of water molecules from the area of higher water potential to the area of lower water potential across the partially permeable membrane. Here we have used the word water potential. So in order to understand the water potential, let's move to the next slide. It's very important to understand the term water potential. So first of all, we have to define the term water potential. Water potential refers to the amount of water present in a solution. As we know that a solution is made up of solute and solvent. Generally, the term concentration refers to the amount of solute present in a solution. So we cannot use the word concentration for the amount of water. So in order to describe the amount of water present in a solution, we have to use the term water potential. So in order to understand the water potential in a better way, let's imagine two different types of solution. The one is the dilute solution and the upper one is concentrated solution. As you can see that in concentrated solution, it contains higher solute concentration, while the dilute solution contains lower solute concentration. Look at the concentrated solutions. Since it contains a higher solute concentration, so relatively the amount of water will be less. So we can say that the concentration solution have lower water potential. And the dilute solution, the solution which is present at the bottom, as you can see that it contains the low solute concentration. So the relative amount of water present in this solution is much higher than the above solution. So we can say that the dilute solution contains higher water potential. Next, we have to learn that how osmosis occurs. In order to understand it, imagine a situation that we have two different types of solutions separated by a partially permeable membrane. The solution on the left is a dilute solution and the solution on the right is a concentrated solution. These are the water molecules and these are the solute particles. If you recall our previous lecture about diffusion, we have learned that the particle moves from the area of higher concentration to the area of lower concentration. Now look at the concentration of solute particles between these two solutions. The solute particles are higher in the concentration in the right side solution, while their concentration in the left side solution is lower. So technically these solute particles should move from the right to the left, but there is a problem. The pores in this partially permeable membranes are very small enough. they do not allow the movement of these big large solute particles. So what happens in this situation when solute particles, they cannot move across? So water plays a very important role to balance this situation. Actually, water moves to balance out these two solutions. So in order to understand the movement of water, we need to see the water potential. So the solution in the left side, it contains a high water potential, while the solution on the right side contains low water potential. And we know that what happens in osmosis, water moves from the area of high water potential to the area of low water potential. So this is what happens between these two solutions through a partially permeable membrane, that water keeps moving from the area of high water potential to the area of low water potential. It keep moving until it balance out the water potential between these two solutions. So next we have to see that how this osmosis does not require any energy. Actually, what happens when we have the different water potential on the either side of the partially permeable membrane? Let's imagine we have a high water potential on one end, on one solution, and a low water potential on another solution. So it creates a gradient for the water, and the water molecules, they would start moving from the area of high water potential to the area of low water potential without spending any energy. So we could conclude that water molecules, they move from the area of high water potential to the area of low water potential, and it's the passive movement of water molecules and no energy is needed. Next we have to see that how these ideas apply to the cell. We know that cell contains solution itself. When we say that the cell contains 70% water by volume, so actually we means that the water is present in the form of different type of solutions inside the cell. So a cell which is itself having a solution, when we place such cells in different type of environments, in different types of solutions, there will be some movement of water either in or out of the cells. So we have to study the different scenarios. Let's start with the isotonic solutions. You know, the word iso means the same. So isotonic solutions are the solutions which have the same solute concentration as the cells, so causing no net water movement. It means that the cell is also having the same water potential as the external environments. Let's imagine a situation that we have a solution and we placed a red blood cell in that solution. Now this solution is isotonic solution. It have the same water potential in and out of the cell. So the amount of water entering into this red blood cell and the amount of water leaving the red blood cell would be the same. So there will be no apparent effect of water movement in the isotonic solutions. The second situation is hypotonic solutions. The word hypo means lower. So the hypotonic solutions have a lower solute concentration than the cells, causing water to enter the cell. Since they have a lower solute concentration, it means they have a higher water potential than the cells. So obviously, if we place a cell in a solution who have a lower solute concentration but have higher water potential, it have higher water potential out of the cell. So you could predict that what happened, that water will move from the area of higher water potential, I mean from outside to the inside of the cell, and water will keep entering into the cell until the cell will get burst. Last is the hypertonic solution. The term hyper means higher. So we can say that hypertonic solutions have a higher solute concentration than the cell and causing water to leave the cell. Just imagine a situation that we placed a cell in a solution which contains a very high amount of solute. So we could say that this hypertonic solution have a lower water potential outside of the cell, while there will be a higher water potential inside of the cell. So what consequently will happen? The water will leave the cells and water will start going out of the cells, consequently it will cause cell shrinkage and the cell will get shrinked. So that's all about the osmosis. So like, share and subscribe this YouTube channel.